Where does God truly hide? Is he somewhere out there in the infinite swirling cosmos, or is he closer than your very own breath? Welcome, seekers of truth. Today, we embark on an extraordinary journey into the greatest unknown, the search for the divine. What if I told you that the vast, empty space around you, the void or Shunya, is not empty at all, but the absolute source of all miraculous life? How exactly did a tiny seed pull 15 kilograms of physical existence out of thin, invisible air? And what of the human mind? Prepare to be stunned by the baffling story of a devout nun whose incurable affliction was cured in exactly 5 minutes by a terrifying, impossible lie from a master mystic, from the hidden eye that watches a seeker in absolute pitch-black darkness, to the secret, upward-flowing energy of the breath that ignites the supreme power of the Kundalini. Everything you thought you knew about your body, your reality, and the Creator is about to change. Take a deep breath. The unstruck melody of the universe is calling. Let us unravel the mystery together.
Today's discourse centers around the search for God, an endeavor to unravel the mysteries of the unknown. First and foremost, it is essential to understand what exactly God, the Supreme Soul, or the Divine truly is. Normally, the Divine is referred to as God. The word God is composed of 3 profound letters, G, O, and D. Letter G stands for generator. The generator represents Lord Brahma, the Creator who brought you into existence. Letter O stands for operator. The operator represents Lord Vishnu, the preserver who sustains you and blesses you with abundance and nourishment throughout your life. Letter D stands for destroyer. When your life's journey reaches its absolute completion, D comes into play as the destroyer, representing Lord Shiva. However, he is not merely a destroyer, rather, he is the liberator who dissolves your worldly form and merges you back into the Supreme Soul. Thus, the Divine takes complete and absolute care of us in every phase of our existence. Now, the primary thing we must comprehend is the dwelling place of God. Where is He? God exists externally in this vast universe, as the world itself is His cosmic manifestation. God also resides within you, because your very physical body sprouted from the soul acting as its foundational seed. Therefore, the Divine is both without and within. We must seek to realize Him through both of these dimensions. The Lord is omnipresent in both realms. To believe that He exists only within and not without, or only without and not within, is an illusion. In truth, our very existence dwells within God Himself, for He encompasses everything inside and out. Consider the analogy of a fish. For a fish, this concept is incredibly simple to grasp. It lives in the ocean, and the moment it is taken out of the water, it gasps and struggles. It instinctively feels separated from its life source, its Lord, and only finds peace when it returns to the depths. The fish inherently and tangibly knows that the ocean itself is its God. However, the profound dilemma for human beings is that we constantly dwell within the divine, and it is impossible for us to ever step outside of Him. We are so intimately close to the Supreme Soul that we could not distance ourselves from Him even if we tried. Because of this inseparable, constant closeness, we often fail to recognize that we are forever immersed in the Divine. If any object is brought too close to your eyes, you will not be able to see it. To perceive anything clearly, you must maintain a certain distance, give it some space, and step back slightly. Only when there is a slight gap between our eyes and the object can we truly recognize it. If it is pressed right against our vision, we become blind to it. This is precisely our predicament with the Divine. First, let us observe the external world to understand why we fail to see the Supreme Soul, Paramatma. You must first realize that this world operates on duality. Nothing here exists in isolation, everything exists in pairs. There is day and night, heat and cold, joy and sorrow, a right hand and a left hand. Through these contrasting pairs, we comprehend and experience the world. However, the Supreme Soul is absolute and one. He is non-dual, that is, Advait. Because our vision is entirely conditioned by duality, we are unable to see Him or comprehend Him. And in our worldly state, we ourselves struggle to become non-dual. The second profound concept to grasp here is the definition of truth. Truth is that which never changes, it remains eternally constant. Conversely, illusion is that which is perpetually changing. If we look at the external world, this entire existence laid out before us was here even before we were born into this world, and its existence will continue long after we depart. What I mean to say is that this grand universe existed in the past, exists in the present, and will remain in the future. Therefore, understand this with absolute clarity. The universe before us is the ultimate truth, and this itself is the tangible manifestation of God. We wander within it, we take birth within it, and we eventually perish within it. It is within this universe that crops grow, a seed sprouts into a plant, and eventually dissolves back into the earth. Yet, the universe remains exactly as it is. The cosmos itself undergoes no fundamental change. Time is eternal and constant, it is we who come and go within the stream of time. The dates and years simply roll on. The profound essence here is that the vast universe before us is the unchanging truth. Meanwhile, everything within it that is constantly being created and destroyed is simply Maya. Thus, we continually reside within the truth, we live within the Divine Himself, yet we fail to realize and understand Him. He is ever present right before us. Look at the vast oceans, the towering mountains, the boundless sky, the great earth, and the stars scattered across the cosmos. Do you truly believe a mere mortal could have created all of this? No, this is the Supreme Soul. Himself manifesting right before our eyes, yet we fail to comprehend him. Therefore, whatever exists before you is nothing but the divine. And this supreme consciousness is infinitely wise. Because you dwell entirely within him, he knows everything you do and everything you think. The divine is intimately aware of your every thought, your every emotion, and every action you perform. He knows the deeds you have accumulated across countless past lifetimes, and he already knows what the future course of your life will be. Thus, you can hide absolutely nothing from the Supreme Soul. Do not harbor the illusion that if you secretly hold good or malicious intentions towards someone in your heart, he is unaware of it. The divine knows everything, because every single individual exists within him. There is but one unified consciousness flowing through us all. Therefore, whatever actions you take, either the other person naturally becomes aware of it, or as a cosmic consequence, the divine plants a thought into their mind to perfectly balance the karmic account of your deeds. Understand this with absolute certainty: we exist entirely within the Supreme, and we cannot hide from him, nor can we deceive him in any way. You may desire one thing deep in your heart while speaking something entirely different outwardly. You might successfully hide this hypocrisy from each other, but the divine knows it all, because you reside within his very being. Just as a parent in a home is aware of what their children are doing, this entire universe is the domain of the divine, and he is fully aware of every single thing within it. That is precisely why it is said that God is present in every single atom, because we are completely enveloped within him. Our thoughts, our deeds, and our deepest contemplations, he knows them all profoundly and perfectly. You can understand this profound truth through a simple story. Once, two seekers came to a guru, wishing to become his disciples. The guru, however, intended to accept only one of them and did not wish to take both. Therefore, he decided to test them. He gave each of them a pigeon and instructed, "Go, take these pigeons wherever you wish, but you must kill it in a place where absolutely no one is watching." One of the seekers took his pigeon into a dark alleyway. Surrounded by complete darkness and seeing no one around, he killed the pigeon and brought it back to the guru. He proudly declared, "I killed it in a place where no one was present. Now, please accept me as your disciple." The guru simply replied, "No, let us wait for the other to return." The second seeker did not return for quite some time. Days turned into weeks, and 2 to 3 months passed, yet he did not come back. Finally, after 3 or 4 months, he returned, bringing the pigeon back alive. The guru asked, "Why didn't you kill it?" The seeker replied, "I went everywhere. I wandered through mountains, I went deep into caves, I went wherever it was physically possible. But I could not find a single place where no one was watching. Finally, I went into the deepest, pitch-black darkness, But even there, I realized the pigeon's own eyes were watching. I remembered your command, kill it where no one is watching. Since the pigeon was watching, I could not kill it. I found no such place where no one was looking. The Guru understood instantly that this seeker alone was worthy of becoming his disciple. Because, in truth, there is no place in existence where the Lord is not watching you. The Divine observes you everywhere. The very question of hiding from Him does not arise. Therefore, strive in life to remain pure, so that no negative karma ever accumulates within your soul. Now, reflect for a moment upon the mystery of the Lord's creation. If a farmer simply scatters a seed upon the surface of the earth, it does not sprout into a plant, even though everything it needs exists right there in the world. But when he buries that same seed even just 4 inches beneath the soil, it germinates. This, too, is a profound mystery. Everything exists on the outside, and everything exists inside the earth as well. Why does the plant sprout only from within the earth and not on the surface? This is yet another mystery of the divine. Beneath the earth, the seed finds darkness. Within the soil, it finds the right temperature. Underneath the ground, it finds moisture. As a result, the outer shell, the skin of the seed, bursts open. And the void, the emptiness or Shunya, held within the seed merges with the void of the earth. When these two voids unite, just as a soul takes birth, a new plant is conceived. It gradually grows into a seedling, and eventually transforms into a magnificent, towering tree. This is the grand, divine play of the Lord. The Supreme has encapsulated all His immense power within the void, within Shunya. Do not mistakenly believe that the void contains nothing. The entire majestic energy of the cosmos resides within this very void, in this nothingness, in this absolute emptiness. Consider a worldly example. When you purchase a house, you do not actually pay for the bricks or the walls. You pay for the emptiness between those walls, the open space within. Whether you call it the carpet area, the built-up space, or the size of the house, you are essentially paying for that vacant space. It means you are paying for the void. You are investing your wealth in Shunya, the void. Similarly, when you go to buy a clay pot, the larger the pot, meaning, the more emptiness it contains, the more valuable it becomes. You are not paying for its outer walls or its layers of clay. You are paying for the emptiness inside it, the capacity it holds to store water. And this entire universe is deeply filled with this very void, and it is absolutely infinite, it has no end. To understand this unseen power, consider a small experiment conducted by a scientist. He planted a tiny sapling in a large pot. He added soil and fertilizer to it. Being meticulous, he kept a strict and precise account of the exact amount of soil he put in. He recorded the exact amount of water he poured over time, and he tracked every ounce of fertilizer he added. At the very moment of planting, he also carefully measured the initial weight of the sapling itself. After 3 or 4 months, the plant had grown so magnificently that it could no longer be contained within that pot. At this point, the scientist tallied up all his calculations. He had documented the exact combined weight of the fertilizer, water, and soil added over those months. Then, he carefully washed the roots of the plant and weighed the plant itself, comparing it to its original state. He arrived at a staggering conclusion. Everything he had visibly provided to the plant, the soil, the water, the nutrients, amounted to roughly 1 to 2 kilograms based on his calculations. However, the total weight of the fully grown plant had surged to at least 15 kilograms. Now, pause and ask yourself, if he only added 2 kilograms of physical matter, how did the plant's weight become 15 kilograms? Where did all of this come from? At first, the scientist was completely baffled. But eventually, he arrived at a profound conclusion. There was only one possible source from where this immense growth could have come: the cosmos, the sky, the ether, the void. The plant had literally drawn its energy from the void. It absorbed its life force from the very emptiness of the sky, which caused it to grow so magnificently and increase its weight. The ultimate conclusion to be drawn here is that what exists before us is not merely empty air. It contains all the essential elements of existence that nourish and sustain the growth of plants, as well as our own. All the 5 fundamental elements are omnipresent within this vast expanse. There are certain great ascetics and sages, Mahayogis, who consume no physical food at all. They sustain themselves entirely on this cosmic air, that is, prana, yet they remain vibrantly healthy and extraordinarily powerful. Take the example of Lord Mahavir, which I shared with you earlier. He would consume food only once in 10 days. For the other 9 days, he sustained himself entirely on the cosmic air. The essence of this is that our universe holds such boundless, supreme power that it can fully sustain our lives and foster our physical and spiritual growth. What appears before us in the universe may seem like mere emptiness, but it is precisely within this emptiness that an infinite reservoir of divine energy resides. You can apply this truth to your daily life. For instance, when you sit down to eat and put a morsel of food into your mouth, if you chew it thoroughly and mindfully, you are not just breaking down the food, you are simultaneously drawing in the cosmic air and energy of the universe along with it. If you practice this, you will notice a miraculous change. Even a very small amount of food will completely satisfy your hunger. Merely through the mindful act of chewing and breathing, your body will absorb vital nutrients and cosmic energy that weren't even physically present in the grains themselves. You will remain vibrantly healthy, and despite eating less, you will never feel a lack of strength or vitality. Therefore, understand that there is a tremendous, unfathomable power within this void. This is the ultimate, profound mystery of the cosmos. And this, in its truest essence, is the magnificent power of the divine. If we delve even deeper into this mystery, you will observe that deep beneath the earth, we find oil, coal, and all kinds of precious metals. Where do these elements suddenly come from within the earth? Deep inside the earth, there is absolute darkness, and within that darkness lies a profound, undisturbed peace. Darkness itself is the ultimate state of peace. And it is into this subterranean realm that the cosmic void penetrates. The soil beneath the surface is naturally porous, filled with microscopic gaps. Through these tiny spaces, the immense power of the cosmos descends deep into the ground. Operating within that absolute darkness, and interacting with the unique composition of the earth, this divine cosmic energy creates gold in one place, silver in another, and oil elsewhere. All of this is simply an extension of the cosmos manifesting within the depths of our planet. This is the profound alchemy of darkness, the interplay of the divine cosmic consciousness with the nurturing elements of the earth. This represents the external consciousness of the universe that surrounds us. No matter how much we speak of it or try to fathom it, words will always fall short. Thus, the existence of the Supreme Soul is ever present outside our physical bodies, and His divine mystery envelops us from all sides. In truth, no matter how much we attempt to comprehend it, our human intellect is simply not vast enough to fully grasp or embrace its boundless totality. That was our external reality. Now, if we turn our gaze inward, we see that we possess a physical body, a mind, and deep within us resides the living consciousness of the Lord. When a mother conceives, the divine consciousness enters the womb in the form of a soul. From that divine spark, a child is gradually nurtured and brought into the world. Yet, that consciousness continues to quietly reside within. As long as this consciousness remains, whether a person lives for 80 years or a century, they are alive. The very moment this consciousness departs, their entire worldly existence comes to an end. Consciousness is the radiant inner light within you. It dwells within your physical body, yet it never entirely merges with or becomes the body. It maintains its own completely distinct, pure existence. Think of the horizon. It makes it appear as though the boundless sky and the earth are embracing, but in reality, they never truly touch. Similarly, the divine consciousness dwells intimately within us, yet it remains eternally separate, pure, and untouched by the physical form. All actions in life take place solely because of the presence of consciousness. In our physical body, consciousness acts purely as a catalyst. Whatever action is to be performed, or whatever deeds a human being plans, consciousness never interferes or stands in the way. However, without the presence of consciousness, absolutely no action can occur. Consider a simple example. When you eat a sweet, you place it on your tongue, and it tastes delightful. The physical taste on the tongue and its sweetness are first perceived by your mind. But standing silently behind the mind is your pure consciousness. The ultimate experience of that sweetness is felt only by this consciousness. It is only because your consciousness registers it that you find the sweet pleasant. Let us delve deeper into this example. Imagine you are relishing a sweet, and at that very moment, you receive the devastating news that your house has caught fire. Instantly, you will neither be able to swallow the sweet, nor will you taste its sweetness anymore. Why? Because the true entity experiencing the taste is your soul, your pure consciousness. The moment it received the tragic news, your consciousness completely detached from the act of eating and rushed to the burning house. What exactly happened in that state? The physical senses and the mind were still exposed to the sweetness, but because the consciousness was no longer present to experience it, the taste became utterly meaningless and non-existent to you. Therefore, our internal state of being is profoundly mysterious and beautifully complex. I will give you a couple more examples to illustrate this. By now, it must be absolutely clear to you that it is consciousness alone that truly experiences everything. Without consciousness, you would perceive and know absolutely nothing. Consciousness dwells within the physical body, yet it maintains a profound, intimate connection with your mind. To make this crystal clear, I would like to share a true, real-life story with you, an incident that beautifully illustrates the intricate relationship between consciousness, the mind, and the body. Through this story, the profound interplay between them will become evident, and it will further illuminate the magnificent, internal mystery of the divine. There was once a Catholic nun. You know what hiccups are, right? Well, she developed a severe bout of hiccups. 2 months passed, then 3 months went by. Despite extensive medical treatments, her hiccups simply would not stop. This is a true incident. 6 to 7 months passed, and she consulted numerous doctors, but the relentless hiccups persisted. Eventually, she went to see a mystic, a profoundly spiritual soul. He told her, "I will cure your hiccups. Come into my room for just 5 minutes, and I will put an end to them." She went into the mystic's room, and exactly 5 minutes later, she came out weeping bitterly. But miraculously, her hiccups had completely vanished. Her friends anxiously asked, "What happened inside in those 5 minutes? How did the hiccups that troubled you for nearly a year suddenly disappear?" At first, she was too stunned to speak, but eventually, she revealed the truth. the mystic didn't do anything physical to me. He simply checked my pulse and calmly told me that I was pregnant. She continued, I received such a terrifying, unimaginable shock. I am a nun, I have never been in a relationship, how could I possibly be pregnant? But in that very moment of intense shock, her hiccups ceased entirely. Later, the mystic came outside and clarified the matter. He explained, she is certainly not pregnant. But I had to deliver a severe shock to her system. Due to a prolonged ailment, her mind had formed a misguided, habitual connection with her bodily reflex. I needed to break that loop and forcibly detach her mind from it. The only way to abruptly separate her mind from that entrenched state was to administer a profound mental shock. Furthermore, such a powerful mental shock could only be delivered by confronting her with an impossible scenario, something she had absolutely no connection with, something entirely alien to her pure life. Hearing of such an unthinkable impossibility triggered a massive shock, instantly breaking the mental pattern and curing her hiccups. The mystic then imparted a deep spiritual truth. Within our human form, there is a delicate, intricate interplay between the physical body, the mind, and pure consciousness. Because of this deep interconnectedness, sometimes erroneous internal connections are formed, though it is quite rare. And to untangle such a complex knot, one must employ an equally unconventional and unprecedented method. Therefore, deep within our bodies, there exist incredibly complex mysteries that are exceedingly difficult for the human intellect to fully comprehend. And this is exactly the wondrous, intricate way the divine has designed us. Take, for instance, those who consume intoxicants and drink alcohol. By indulging in habits like smoking, people rigidly condition their minds and completely isolate themselves from reality. It is as if they enter a pseudo-state of meditation while smoking, but in doing so, their pure consciousness, chetna, is pushed far away from their active mind. Once this disconnect happens, no matter what actions they perform, their consciousness cannot intervene to guide or correct them. Consciousness is the divine power of the Lord, but when you accumulate such heavy layers of toxicity and impurity over yourself, your consciousness becomes obscured. As a result, you transform into an entirely different person. You might mistakenly believe that drinking alcohol or smoking has brought you into a state of meditation. This happens because these substances temporarily suppress your active mind, making you thoughtless. In that brief thoughtlessness, you experience a fleeting, artificial sense of peace. However, this exacts a severe, destructive toll on your physical body, and all forms of toxic, impure emotions begin to breed within you. Therefore, one must absolutely abstain from these substances so that the pure, divine consciousness can naturally flow through you and guide your life. Now, let us observe the simple act of breathing. When we inhale, it is not merely physical oxygen that enters our lungs, the vital, cosmic life force, prana shakti, enters our being along with it. In the external atmosphere, there is only one unified prana. But the moment this cosmic air enters our system, it divides and transforms into specialized vital energies. It becomes Vyan Prana, Saman Prana, and Apan Prana. These internal energies are highly instrumental in sustaining the physical body, playing a crucial role in vital functions like blood circulation. However, for profound spiritual practices and inner awakening, every seeker requires the activation of a higher energy known as Udaan Praana. Udaan Praana is not generated automatically by the body's natural functions. You must consciously cultivate it. When you breathe deeply, drawing the breath all the way down from your navel, the vital air reaches your spiritual center. It is here that the energies of Apan Prana and Saman Prana meet. The internal friction generated by the merging of these profound vital forces creates and activates the upward flowing Udaan Prana. This Udaan Prana is the very driving force behind the supreme energy of Kundalini. It ascends very slowly and gradually. Only when Udaan Praana is successfully awakened and flowing within you does the Kundalini power begin to unfold. And it is precisely at this moment that your true spiritual journey finally begins. Why am I sharing all of this with you? I am telling you this because the internal system of our body, as designed by the Lord, is not ordinary at all. It holds magnificent complexities. And these intricacies have been created for a specific purpose, so that, by engaging in some form of spiritual discipline, you can heal yourself physically and spiritually, and discover the path that leads back to the divine. Now, through this method, the Udaan Prana you have awakened grants you the very power of the Lord. Ultimately, it is this Udaan Prana that elevates your state of consciousness. From then on, whatever spiritual practice you undertake, whether it is the chanting of mantras, Kriya Yoga, or the yoga of breath, it will prove to be immensely fruitful and beneficial. Furthermore, if you sit in absolute darkness at night, free from thoughts, free from emotions, and keeping your body completely still in one posture, the resonance of the unstruck eternal melody, the Anahad Naad, will awaken within you. You will begin to hear the sacred, reverberating sound of Om. This practice alone will profoundly expand your consciousness. Gradually, as your consciousness expands to such a profound degree, it will reach your Kutastha Chaitanya, the center of divine consciousness between the eyebrows, and continue to flourish there. Then, as it ascends to your Sahasrara Chakra, the crown chakra, and merges with the boundless cosmos, you will experience the ultimate state of Samadhi or a state of ecstasy. Thus, you have observed the profound complexities hidden within the body, and you have witnessed the vast manifestation of the Lord outside in the universe. When this inner expansion achieved in the state of Samadhi or a state of ecstasy unites with the external cosmos, you will fully and experientially realize a supreme truth. Everything, both inside and outside, is solely the kingdom of the divine. Outside is his boundless, infinite expansion. Inside is his subtle, microscopic state. By expanding this subtle inner state, we can embark on a limitless journey across the cosmos. While our human minds may never fully comprehend the entirety of this vast existence, we can undoubtedly become an inseparable part of its supreme bliss. If we manage to attain even a fraction of this existential bliss in our lifetime, it means we will be able to drink the divine nectar of the Lord's majesty. The very word Ishwar, a God, originates from Aishwarya, meaning supreme majesty and divine wealth. In partaking of that divine nectar, we receive the Lord's ultimate blessing, His grace. This grace will gradually nurture a profound power within us, enabling us to enter the state of absolute emptiness and merge, becoming entirely one with the universe. With these few words, I would like to conclude today's satsang. Thank you.